Today we are going to do lesson number 3 and 4, but lesson number 3 we are going to look at how we multiply monomial by polynomial. Okay, and so this method is called a distributive property. It's a very important term, distributive property. And what it is that you are multiplying whoever's in front of the bracket. So think of it this way. So let's say you have A and then B plus C. So think of the bracket to be like a house. B and C is inside the house and A is outside the house. So in order, when you go in the house, obviously you want to handshake everyone in the house, right? To greet everyone. So A, when it goes inside the house, A is going to handshake with B and A is going to handshake with C. This is called distributive property. You distribute. So therefore, it's going to be A times B, which is AB, plus A times C, which is AC. Okay? So let's try an example. Example number 1. So we want to simplify and then collect like terms if possible. So as you can see, 2 is in front of the house. So 2 is going to distribute with 3x and -1 because there are 2 people in the house, meaning 2 terms. So when I distribute 2 times 3x, so you do the numbers first, it will be 6x. 2 times -1 is -2. And that's your final answer because there are no like terms. Now, what about letter C? So as you can see, there are 2 different houses, but -2 is the only one term. So therefore, -2 will be distributing with 6w, handshake, and with 3 as well. So 3 times -2 is -6. -6w times -2, negative becomes positive, 12, and then w. And that's your final answer. So I would prefer that you write the letters first and then write the number constant last. So it will be 12w minus 6 in order. Okay. Now, what about letter E? So it looks like we have 2 houses. So 1/2 will be distributing, handshaking with 2w and -6. But not here. Why? Because 1/2 is only in front of this house. And then we have -2/3. We'll be doing distributive property with 9w and then -6. Because -2/3 is only in front of this house. Okay? So whatever's in front of the bracket, that's what you're going to multiply. So we start 1/2 times 2w. So do the numbers and it will give you 1w. And 1/2 times -6. So remember, 1/2 is like 0.5. You will get 3 minus 3. And then -2/3 times 9 is going to give me -6w, right? So -2/3 times 9. So you will notice that what you could do is you could do -18/3, which is -6. And then -2/3 times -6 is going to give me +4. Negative becomes positive. And then you will notice that we have a like term. We have w and -6w. And then we have -3 and +4. So let's collect the w's together. So 1w, 1 is invisible, minus 6w. And then we have -3 plus 4. So then you do 1 minus 6 is going to be -5 W. And negative 3 plus 4 is going to be positive 1. And that's how you do it. Okay. Now, what about letter F? So letter F, who's in front of this bracket? It's not 18. Only negative 2 is in front of the house, right? So in this case, negative 2 is going to handshake, distribute, multiply with x and negative 3. Okay, so let's start. 18 just comes down. So negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. And then plus 4x. And then after that, let's collect the like terms. So we have 18, just a number, and 6. And then we have negative 2x, like term with positive 4x. So let's collect x's together. So negative 2x plus 4x, the wiggly line. And then we have underline, positive 18 and positive 6. So negative 2 plus 4 is going to give me positive 2x. And positive 18 plus 6 is going to give me positive 24. So we did this, and then we did this, and we got that. Okay. Now, what about letter G? So in this case, you will notice that we have two brackets. We have a square bracket and a round bracket. So it looks like we have a bracket inside the bracket. So what it is that, well, let's look inside the bracket first. So it looks like we have 2x minus 1 here. But who's in front of the house? Positive 5. So this positive 5 is going to handshake with 2k and with negative 1. So let's simplify that first. So 3, 2 plus, so 5 times 2k is 10k. Positive 5 minus 1 is minus 5. And then close the bracket. So I got rid of the round bracket because I did distributive property. So every time you do distributive property, you just delete, or the brackets goes away, the house goes away. So now you notice that, okay, before I distribute 3, I have a like term, 2 and negative 5. So it's going to be 3. I can just change it to round bracket. So 2 minus 5. So it's minus 3, right? So I simplified this to this. And now I need to, in order for me to get rid of this bracket, I need to distribute. 3 is in front of this bracket. So 3 times 10k and 3 times negative 3. So therefore, 3 times 10k is 30k. And 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And that's your final answer. Okay, so please remember that you have to do BEDMAS. So do inside the bracket first, the innermost bracket, and then extend it out. Okay, now what about lesson number 4? It's a continuation, but sometimes you will notice that within the monomial, you will have like a variable, not just a constant. So for number 1a, so we have negative 2y in front of the bracket. So distribute, because there are two people or two terms, and another distribute. So let's do the numbers first. Negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. And then y times y is y squared. Because remember, y times y, the exponent is 1. So when you're multiplying the same base, you add the exponent, 1 plus 1, which is y squared. And then negative 2y times positive 1 is going to be negative 2y. And you can't simplify further because there are no like terms. So moving forward, let's take a look at letter C. So at letter C, there are two houses, two brackets. So in front of the first bracket, we have 4x. And there are three terms. So I will be doing 3 distributive property. And in front of this bracket, we have negative 3x. So negative 3x is going to distribute 2 times because there are 2 terms in the bracket. So let's do the numbers first. So 4 times 3 is 12. And then x times x squared, x cubed. Because x, there's invisible 1 here. So when you multiply the same base, you add the exponent. And then 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. And x times x is x squared. And then 4x times positive 1 is positive 4x itself. And then do the next bracket. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, x cubic, right? There's invisible 1 again, so you add the exponent. And then negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15x. Now that I've done the distributive property, we are going to collect the like terms. So we have x cubed, 12x cubed is a like term with negative 6x cubed. And then we have negative 8x squared, but there's no x squared, so that's the only like term. And then after we have positive 4x is a like term with positive 15x. So therefore, collect the like terms with the underline with the highest exponent, the degree. So 12x cubed minus 6x cubed minus 8x squared. And then collect the circle, so plus 4x plus 15x. Okay, so now these two, when it's simplified, it gives me 6x cubed. The variable stays the same. And then negative 8x squared just comes down. There's no like term. And then positive 4 plus 15 is going to give me 19x. And that is your final answer. Okay. Okay, now what about letter E? So if you look at letter E, so let me do a different color. So again, we have a 2 bracket. Inside the house, we have another house or another bracket. Now, if you look at this bracket over here, you will notice that there's no number, but I only see negative. So what that means, there's invisible negative 1 in front of this bracket. So negative 1, you're going to multiply, and negative 1 multiply 2 times. So let's open up the bracket. So 2x minus 3x, the 5 comes down, but now negative 2x and negative 1 times negative 1 is going to be positive 1, and close the bracket. And before I distribute anything, I notice that I have a like term with a number and a number. So 5 plus 1. So 2x minus 3x. So 5 plus 1 is 6 minus 2x. And now, in order to get rid of the square bracket, we notice that negative 3x is in front of this bracket. So it's going to distribute and distribute. So therefore, we have 2x. Negative 3 times 6 is negative 18x. And negative 3x times negative 2x is going to be positive 6x squared. And the last step, these two are the like terms, 2x and negative 18x. So therefore, 6x squared is going to be, when you subtract, it's going to be negative hold on. Yeah. Oh, so 2x minus 18x is going to be negative 16x. And that is your final answer. Okay. So let's try, the final question is a sort of like a word problem. So example 2, it says find a simplified expression for the area and the perimeter of the rectangle shown below. So we know that the perimeter of a rectangle is length plus width, assuming that this is length and this is width. On the other hand, area is length times width. So what we can do is we could write down the length as 2x plus 2x, and then the width is 3x plus 5 plus 3x plus 5. Now, when we are adding from yesterday's lesson with the brackets, they just disappear, right? So it's like 2x plus 2x plus 3x plus 5 plus 3x plus 5. And then after that, we can collect the like terms. So we have x, 3x, and then we have positive 5 and positive 5 here. So therefore, I'm going to do 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3, which is going to give me 10x, and then 5 plus 5 is going to give me 10 as well. So therefore, the perimeter of this rectangle is 10x plus 10 centimeter. The length is 2x, and the width is 3x plus 5. Now, again, 2x is in front of this bracket, so we have to do distributive property for multiplying. Distribute and distribute. Therefore, 2 times 3 is 6x squared, plus 2 times 5 is 10x. And don't forget, for area, it's centimeter square for the unit. Okay. Now, for part B, what it's saying is they want us to evaluate the perimeter and area if x is equal to 6. So all we need to do is just plug in the value of x, which is 10 times 6 plus 10. So therefore, 60 plus 10. So the perimeter is 70 centimeter when x is 6 centimeter. On the other hand, for area, 6, and then x is 6 squared plus 10 times 6. So don't forget, you are not going to multiply 6 times 6. You're going to do bed mass, right? So you're going to do the exponents first. So do this first, which is 6 times 36 plus 60. And then 6 times 36 plus 60, you're going to get 276 centimeters squared. And that is the area when the x is 6 centimeter.